Ever had that moment where she just goes silent? No reply, no glance, no effort. Most guys panic, overthink, or chase harder. But what if I told you the real power move is something so unexpected it flips the script entirely? Today, I'll walk you through the 7 exact steps to take when she ignores you. And trust me, the final one will completely change the way you see silence from women forever. Welcome. If you're new here, this is where men level up daily in dating. Like this video, comment your thoughts and subscribe for more. 7. The invisible mirror. When she's ignoring you, your instinct is to push for attention, but instead reflect her silence right back without bitterness. Imagine you're holding up a mirror. She vanishes into quiet. You vanish into calm. This does 2 things. It breaks the predictable pattern she expects, and it forces her to wonder why you're not reacting. Because here's the truth. Curiosity grows in the gaps, not in the noise. If you stop filling the space, she starts feeling it. And what happens when she feels it? She starts questioning her choice to ignore you. That's the invisible mirror at work. Now let's go deeper. Most women expect emotional reactions when they go cold. A message, a call, a double text. They expect neediness. They expect pursuit. When that doesn't happen, it shocks the emotional rhythm. She's now alone in her silence, and instead of winning control, she's facing a question she didn't prepare for. Why isn't he chasing? And it's not just confusion. It's attraction. Silence without resistance is mystery, and mystery attracts far more than pressure ever could. The invisible mirror isn't about playing games. It's about not feeding what doesn't feed you. And in that stillness, a new power begins to emerge. 6. The timestamp effect. Instead of giving endless access, you shrink your availability into a rare event. You don't post updates, you don't send casual, hey texts, you become a moment, she notices rather. Then background. She overlooks. Think of it like a rare movie showing people value it because it doesn't play all the time. When she realizes your presence is limited, suddenly the silence doesn't feel like control, it feels like loss. And notice what's happening here. You're not punishing her. You're shifting the frame so you become the scarce resource. Scarcity creates value, always has, always will. Think about anything rare, whether it's a diamond, a limited edition sneaker, or an opportunity on a tight deadline. The less available something is, the more our mind values it. And in dating, it works exactly the same. Women don't chase what's always around. They chase what they might lose. So instead of making yourself constantly visible, you disappear from the regular feed. You reduce your presence without bitterness, without announcement, and you let the gap make the noise, because the absence of attention makes people realize the worth of what they once ignored. But what happens when you take this one step further? That's where the next move comes in. 5. The silent upgrade. Most guys wait around, hoping her attention comes back. You use her silence as fuel. You upgrade not loudly. Not for show, but in subtle, undeniable ways. Maybe you refine your style, pick up a new skill, start showing up differently in the spaces where she least expects it. Here's the twist. It's not about flaunting, it's about quiet transformation. She ignored you at version 1. Suddenly she has to process version 2 standing in front of her, and that contrast makes her silence feel outdated. Most people don't expect others to grow while they're being ignored. But imagine this. She last saw you in a certain light. Maybe uncertain, maybe unsure, maybe seeking validation. But now the person she sees is confident, focused, perhaps even admired by others. The silent upgrade isn't about revenge, it's about redirection. You don't wait for her attention to validate your worth. You validate yourself through evolution. And the moment she sees the gap between who you were and who you've become, she'll realize something powerful. Her silence didn't diminish you. It inspired your rise, and that energy is impossible to ignore. What's fascinating? is that women don't anticipate this response. They expect sulking or chasing. They rarely expect evolution. But the real kicker comes in the next step. 4. The social echo. Ever noticed how silence feels heavier when the rest of the room is buzzing? Instead of directing energy back toward her, you redirect it into other connections, conversations, laughs, moments with people who actually value your presence. The effect. Her silence stops being about her choice and starts looking like her loss. And here's the strange part. When she sees others receiving the attention she withheld, the silence she chose starts echoing back in her mind. It doesn't punish it, simply reframes reality. You're someone who's already in demand. And that's when the story shifts. Energy moves where it's appreciated, not where it's avoided. So rather than chase the void, you redirect that attention into new spaces. Maybe you build better friendships. Maybe you reconnect with passions. Maybe you're laughing in new places with people who see your worth. That creates an echo, a message she can't escape. Because when a woman ignores you, she's often testing if you're only focused on her. When she sees you're not, she starts to feel the void she created, not as power, but as absence. And absence in a world where others are leaning into you creates envy, curiosity, and regret. But the shift gets sharper in the next move. 3. The patience paradox. When she ignores you, most guys sprint toward closure. They want answers, clarity, explanation. But the paradox is this. The longer you resist the urge to demand resolution, the more magnetic you appear. Patience is rare. It shows that you're not desperate for validation, and that unsettles her expectations. Because think about it. If she can't shake your composure, what does that say about the value you place on yourself? Suddenly, her silence isn't power. It's just background noise against your calm presence. And that patience lays the groundwork for the most subtle shift of all. In a world of instant gratification, patience is power. Women are used to reactions, they're used to a follow-up to a question mark. But when you don't move, when you don't flinch, when you simply hold your ground in silence, it becomes unnerving, not because it's cold, but because it's centered. And real confidence is quiet, not loud. It doesn't need an audience or applause. So when you stand in silence, you're showing a different kind of strength, one that doesn't chase, it attracts. And that kind of presence starts to pull her curiosity closer without saying a word. 2. The unspoken contrast. Imagine she sees you in a room, maybe online, maybe in person, and without a word you radiate energy she can't ignore. The way you carry yourself, the way others lean toward you, the way you seem untouched by her absence. That contrast between the version of you she ignored and the version now in front of her does something powerful. It forces her to reevaluate. Silence doesn't hit the same when reality contradicts the picture she painted in her head. And this moment, it doesn't come from words. It doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from presence. Presence is louder than explanation. You don't need to prove she was wrong to ignore you. You don't need to explain your worth. You live it. You embody it in how you move, how you speak, how you show up without effort. And this contrast makes her silence feel misplaced, maybe even regrettable, she thought. She knew what she was walking away from. But what she now sees is someone far beyond what she expected. And that realization isn't triggered by apology or pleading. It's triggered by evolution, by transformation, and by undeniable energy and presence. Sets the stage for the final, most unexpected move. 1. The graceful exit. Here's the move she never sees coming. You leave the door open, but you walk through it first, instead of chasing, instead of proving, instead of filling her silence with effort. You exit with grace. You don't slam the door. You don't leave a dramatic note. You simply redirect your energy into places where it's reciprocated. And that quiet dignity, that's the most unforgettable response. Because while attention fades and silence can sting, what lingers longest is the memory of someone who valued themselves enough to step away. And when she realizes that her silence didn't shake you, it only sharpened you. It flips the entire script. The graceful exit is the rarest move. Because it comes without bitterness. It comes without ego. It comes from a place of deep self-worth. You don't exit to punish. You exit to preserve, and that's the real difference. Most guys walk away hoping she notices. You walk away knowing your worth is not up for debate. And the calm behind that decision creates a memory in her mind, not of what you said or did, but of how you made her feel in your absence. It teaches her that your time, your energy, your attention, these are privileges, not guarantees. And that is the final unspoken lesson. Silence delivers. Up next, discover the things women never do when they love you, or learn what it means when she keeps looking at you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more, where we go deeper into what truly makes a man magnetic, respected, and unforgettable.